Issue 147. We start out with Metal Sonic spin dashing all the way up to the Freedom Fighter Special. Makes sense since it keeps him protected the whole time in ball form. And I call bullshit on being expected to believe that the area they're in hasn't been walked in for well over 1,000 years. Every part of the world gets explored regularly. Either way, the story then shows us that 16 hours ago, when Tails and Tommy were left behind by Bunny, they conveniently saw Sonic on the camera footage that happened to be right next to them, seeing Bunny wrapping a bandage around Sonic's hand. So I can't even say that Fiona got to be useful by doing that because someone else did it instead. At those thinking that maybe she was going to be the medic of the group, but someone else did. They then see Shadow and Isaac in the camera footage as well, with Tommy calling Isaac a guy and wondering what he is. After that, they see Fiona on the camera footage with twisted wiring in front of her while she's in front of a control panel. And she's really annoyed, saying whoever did the wiring in this place should be strung up by their thumbs. A harsh line that makes perfect sense coming from the girl who's interestingly a fish out of water in a group full of pure heroes. I hope we hear more of those lines. It makes sense that she knows about wiring if only because it was implied that learning about programming was part of the Freedom Fighter training thanks to Mina. So maybe I can assume that she learned this from Rotor trying to make her more useful. Still weird that she'd know what good wiring is, though. It's like they're trying to give her stuff to justify her being a freedom fighter. Also, it's kind of annoying that she spontaneously changed outfits. I doubt she would have had the time to run all the way back home just to get a different dress. She gets called by Rotor on her wristwatch thing and complains, "I was doping out a control panel when a connection triggered prematurely. I couldn't cross-circuit to be in time to cut it off," causing Rotor to complain that this is bad. How bad? Bad enough that it counteracts her being helpful, makes it so that she never should have done this? Or will it be worth it? Why was she doing this anyways? Rotor says that the complex they're in is the product of a paranoid culture designed to take offensive action at the slightest threat, and a sense that they need to get to Fiona fast. Why was she doing that to the control panel? What was the point of it? Sonic is asked, what about Rotor? And he runs out to get a metal thing Rotor could hop aboard, and Tails and Tommy tell Sonic from a control room that he ran past Fiona. They reach her, and Tommy explains to them that Isaac and Shadow are 3 sections away from them according to an on-screen map. Then Tails tells them in fear that a Metal Sonic has threatened to deactivate Shadow and Isaac. Oh Shadow, you naive hedgehog. He assumes Gerald built Metal Sonic as well, even though he never got the chance to meet Sonic. Why wouldn't he assume Eggman made him? Metal Sonic calls organics bile trash, which is weird that Eggman would program him to think that of his own master. And he says right after this that Shadow has binary pulses similar to him, before calling himself Shadow's superior for some reason. The two start to fight and destroy the place, with Rotor saying that they're only making things worse for some reason. Fiona, being all cautious, tries to warn him that 3-to-1 odds aren't that good, but Sonic runs off for a fight anyways, as he was all eager about it the minute he heard it. I like that part of him, that loves fights. Fiona sighs unhappily at his brashness. For some reason, Isaac is surprised at meeting a non-human species capable of intelligent speech. Well, I guess he was made long before Mobians were created. And even suggests dissecting Sonic in his robot-like way. Shadow says he's met Mobians plenty of times before. And then, for some reason, Isaac thinks that because Sonic's witty, he should be destroyed with a laser. And then Shadow inexplicably says, "I agree," and starts to fight him again. He's not written well at all in this arc. He just tries to fight Sonic for no reason. At least in Generations, which was a pretty low standard for all of the characters other than Sonic, Shadow at least had the excuse of wanting to test Sonic's strength. In this, he inexplicably wants to fight Sonic like an enemy despite working together with him in SA2. After Metal Sonic shows up too, Sonic thinks himself that he's really in danger now while still acting confident in his bravado, which is good characterization for him. He's not really vastly underestimating his enemies and stuff, he just acts like he does. Tails and Tommy see that while Sonic is being attacked by Metal Sonic with Shadow keying on him, Rotor, Bunny, and Fiona are all being electrocuted out of nowhere. Fortunately, being fortunate enough that the electricity doesn't just go straight through their hearts and kill all of them immediately. I should have asked this earlier, but if Tails doesn't want to be called Miles, why hasn't he told Tommy that a long time ago? Either way, Tails complains about the fact that with all these buttons and controls in front of them, they still have no idea what they can do to help and finally be useful here. They panic, and Tails presses a button that drops Sonic and the rest down a trap door while Eggman laughs at seeing it, and Tails is horrified at what he might have done. Sadly, the story ends there. After a worthless non-canon off-panel story, we see Sonic leaving Mutski because he's too busy being a hero to play with him, which makes Mutski sad because, as he puts it, "Aw, you never play anymore." Then Tails asks the sad-looking dog what's wrong and wishes that he had a universal translator's ear like Sonic so we could know what he was saying. Why can't he just build one? I mean, Tails did in Colors. Then Tails says adorably that if Sonic and Mutski could become good friends, then so can they. He plays fetch with a dog, hopscotch even though a dog can't play it back, and a dog paddle race. And then they play a hide and seek, which ends with Mutski growling at Tails, making him really nervous. When he tells Sonic what happened, Sonic explains that Mutski thought they were playing Fox Hunt, a game they used to practice to hide and defend from an attack. The first story was by Ken Penders. It continues with Shadow confusingly and annoyingly trying to fight Sonic for no goddamn reason, causing forced artificial conflict, rival style, that only makes things harder for him when Metal Sonic shows up. At least Isaac I can understand since he's a robot, so he's probably not programmed right in this case, and panicked at meeting Mobian. Not sure why he didn't panic at seeing Shadow then, because he looks just like a Mobian. I would have liked that Fiona finally got to do something useful, being the only one in the room for a change, but the problem is that I don't know why she had to dope up the control panel in the first place. And electrocution follows. So it's hard to see it as useful when I don't know what she was doing it for. At least it kind of shows that she has that skill, knowing what good wiring is, because Rotor must have felt the need to teach her. After this is the longest off-panel bullcrap yet. I don't understand why they bother wasting valuable comic space on non-canon crap. That's not even remotely entertaining. What is this generic superhero nonsense? This is a waste of Mike Gallagher's talents. He should have quit if he was being relegated to nothing with this. Although it makes sense, most of his recent stories, like the Alan Cowell one, sucked. The real second story, by Romy Chacon, is an equally pointless story where Tails gets scared while playing with Mutski because Mutski started growling at him thinking he was practicing defending himself. The biggest plot hole I just realized is that why would Sonic make a game with Mutski about practicing hiding and defending himself against his pet dog? Why would he risk his dog getting hurt like that? Why would he risk himself getting hurt like that? It seems really pointless. Although it was slightly charming seeing Tails adorably play with Mutski in all sorts of different ways, we didn't have to waste his time like that.